Hello, beauties. How are you? It's Dawn Gallagher. Well, have you ever had a holiday party or a special occasion or something come up and it's like, what do I wear? What do I do for my makeup? What do I put on my lips? How do I dress? Well, today I'm really excited because I have the great Joseph, who I love so much. You've seen other videos with him. He's been a very dear friend for over 35 years, and we've done many, many editorial shots together and worked so well together, and I just adore this man. So we're going to do everything glamorous today. So stay tuned and watch how the transformation happens. Hi, I'm Dawn Gallagher, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that little subscribe button and that little bell, and that will let you know when I'm uploading new videos. So Joseph, I'm really excited that you're here today. One of my questions is, do you love working with women who are older? Don't you just love how our faces show wisdom and experience, and that that we show that we have a lot of life in our eyes?
I absolutely do. And the reason being that since I was little, the thing that gave me the most reward in life was to make women feel beautiful. I figured out that a lot of that came through makeup. Hair was a big one to make women feel beautiful. So it's never dawned on me that there was an age limit to that. I think everyone can look beautiful at any age. I also think that we can go bold and we can go fearless with our makeup when it's the holidays and you've got a gown like that on and you're accessorized beautifully and the hair's looking great. Go out and knock them dead.
Mm-hmm. And remember, there's no expiration date on beauty. So let's get to it.
Oh my God, here we are. It's the holidays, it's special occasions coming up. Mm-hmm. We want to have a lot of fun with color. We want to have a lot of fun with different seasons, how it changes our skin, how it changes the way we feel. The days are shorter, the sun is gone.
Yes.
And we need more color. We need to brighten it all up.
Mm-hmm. It's time to celebrate. That's what I'm excited about.
This is
a time of festive holiday celebration, whether we're going to an event, whether we're going to a party, whether we're going to a bar mitzvah or a wedding, or it's your 50th wedding anniversary or whatever it is.
Yeah.
We're celebrating today. We're celebrating life. We're celebrating love.
Okay, now Dawn and I talked a little bit about this time of year. What happens when you're not in the sun? Some of the, during the summer we have a little more freckling, kind of comes out. But in the winter we get a little bit paler. Our skin looks a little drier because the heat's running. And so we thought we'd do a little bit of like a primer that might give the skin a little dewy quality. Now I'm going to start this out on top of the moisturizer. It's really okay to do that. If you have oily skin, use it a little bit in place of a moisturizer. That would be okay too, I would think. Mm-hmm. But I'm just going to put a little bit in my palm. Sorry, darling. Mm-hmm. You'll see it's just, it's just a little slightly tinted. It's going to warm the skin a little bit and give it a little dewy quality. And I like that for what we're doing. Mm-hmm. We don't have to go for heavy coverage in the winter because our skin doesn't have all the freckling and everything that we sometimes like to cover up. Mm-hmm. Now I'm speaking specifically to women over a certain age where you do get those freckles in the summer that you don't like. It's not when you were a kid and you were like, look how cute my freckles are. It's where you don't want them. In the winter, they fade. Right. So we can do sort of a primer here and just add a little bit of sheen to the skin. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a great idea.
And it gives you a little bit of a dewy look, right?
Yeah. All right, and all that's really done is giving me a light, sort of a nice glow. So whatever I do on top of that, it'll come through. It'll still come through. So like always, we want to just start with, under the eyes a little bit, and just going to add a little bit of concealer. And I love this Lancome concealer because it dries to powder. It's not an oily or creamy highlighter or under eye concealer that needs to be powdered. So that's the difference for me. That's the reason that I like it. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to take, and I love the wand because I just take it right into the crease and stop right there. I can go a little bit around the nose. That's always good. Mm-hmm. We get a little red, especially in the winter from blowing our nose all day. And then maybe if there's a little a little shadow there. You can also highlight that. This for the more bluer areas, you know, where the veins come through. As we get older, veins come through the skin a lot more, and you notice it between the eyes. You notice it sometimes on the temple a little bit.
Is that because your skin gets a little thinner as you age?
Yeah, and the veins just come to the surface. And if there's anything that's noticeably bluish or even purplyish, you know, this is also by Lancome, and it's called a color corrector and has a lot of peach in it. So that peach will really knock that out. You'll see it as you blend your makeup. It doesn't come out that color, but as you're blending your makeup, you'll see how that it takes the eye away from any blue tones that might be any undercurrent of blue that might be there in the skin.
Do you also use it to cover up, you know, you were talking earlier about like spots, you know, what happens as you age, you might get a little bit of sunspots or age spots or...
Well, I think a lot of times...
Because I love freckles. I never want to cover any freckles because they're beautiful, but I'm talking about the spots.
I know about you and freckles. But here, to answer your question, you know the times when you're trying to cover a freckle and it just won't go away, or you're trying to cover a dark circle in your eyes and it won't go away? It seems that the more makeup you put on to cover it, the more accentuated it is. It's because you haven't addressed the issue, and the issue is that dark area just in that circle. So you're busy putting product all around. You'll notice I have no makeup anywhere in here. It's all in this circle and between the eyes to just cover where the veins come through and the bluishness is. This is a really good trick, ladies, for those of you that want your eyes to look a little softer and less hard in the inner corners when we start to get that little gutter in there. This will lift it and bring it out, and that peach tone is there to cover the blue veins that are coming through, because they do. You see them, you know. I think you all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right, now you know I love it. My sponge, get it full of water, squeeze it out, get a paper towel, get it nice and damp, nice and fluffy, nice and soft.
Because it feels good too.
It feels good. And I'm not going to rub makeup into her skin. I'm going to pat over what I've done, just lightly pat. And that's going to catch that. And you can see right away that it's just eradicated the circle. Just right away, that circle starts to go away. We'll see that again on this side. And I'm just going to tap it in. I'm just going to tap it in. You know, I love to pat makeup in. My motto is pat, never pull. It's just better for the result. Give me that little squeeze. Not your face, just your eyes. That's the girl.
Because you don't want to pull your skin.
No, you don't want to pull on your skin. That's not the idea behind it. Well, and because it doesn't go in evenly. Makeup doesn't go in evenly if you drag the sponge. It grabs where it wants to grab and then fades out. But when you're pressing it in, you're getting it the same amount everywhere you go. And that's what makes a beautiful finish in the end. And this isn't a lot of makeup. This is a very well pigmented product, has a slight cream base to it, so that you can just see. I mean, just a little tapping with that much pigment just blends the skin out. Where I think you're really covering is the dark circles. I think that's where you're covering the most. And of course, you see what happens the minute you tap into that peach that I've applied. Completely disappears, but the blueness of the vein in that area is now eradicated. Or at least you trick your eye into not seeing it by balancing the blue with the peach tone. And we can go back with a small brush and I can show you where there's any little areas that might need a tad more coverage. You could just take a little brush to that.
Right.
And I like the Lancome for that as well, because it does set to powder. It doesn't have to be set with powder. So when you're setting with powder, especially around the eyes, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, powder's not always your friend. It can look really, that part of the face.
Creepy almost.
Well, because that's the part of the face that's doing all the moving. So you just want to get something on there to make it beautiful, and then you don't want to start packing powder on it. Okay, so I'm just going to finish blending that. Could you tighten up a little bit for me under there? That's right. I love that. I love that because it not only gives me an area where I'm not pushing the skin around, because the skin is tight, you're using a muscle that all your expression comes from. So I can really blend that makeup and really smooth that makeup in that area. You can see how that's almost just taken it away and made it look like it was
signature
never.
thing.
It is.
No,
Everyone looks at me like I'm crazy when I say, "Can you just flex the eye muscle a little bit?"
Yeah.
It's not a smile. It's just a squint.
It's just
That's
squint.
it's like you're mad at me. She's like,
I'm mad at you.
I'm so mad. She gets so mad all the time. I don't know why I even do these things.
I can never be mad at you. And you know, Joseph and I talk a lot about inner beauty. Your inner beauty is really the key.
Yeah.
It's not about your feature. It's not about your hair length. It's not about your height. It's not even about the right lipstick. So we're going to have fun with color today, right?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Definitely. And we're going to, and we're going to, in the reveal, we've got some beautiful fashion.
Oh, wait till you see the reveal. It's going to be.
We've got a, it's going to be a beautiful reveal in the end. We've got a nice set in the hair. It's going to be big and beautiful. Well, no, not big and beautiful. That sounds so 80s. Big and beautiful. Big shoulder pads. So bigger the shoulder pads, the bigger the hair.
Yeah, remember the 80s
Please.
with the big shoulder pads?
Oh my
the
God,
big
yeah,
hair and
yeah.
the big earrings.
We remember. We talked a little bit about powder and how we don't really think powder is always the best thing after a certain age. And I agree entirely. You should try to get a makeup to work for your skin that doesn't need a lot of setting. So I like to set with blush. I like to set with contour, if you're going to use a little contour under the neck to kind of shadow the neck. I like to set with those products. It's not powder. It's a setting agent. What it's going to do is it's going to make that makeup that I have under there, that concealer, is going to set, but more importantly, it's absorbing anything that might crease or line with later on. So this sets it. This is a must, but it's not powder. See, I call it a setting agent. It's not powder. Powder has moisturizer. Powder has pigment. This is nothing. This is lighter than anything you've ever felt. What I've done under here to brighten, conceal, and lift under her eyes, and it's just going to make that set so that it doesn't warm up and start creasing on you.
Now, if somebody was to go to Sephora, what would they ask for? A
setting powder. Yeah, translucent setting powder. Okay. No pigment. Push it on any place that I know, because anywhere there's shine, lady, when you have shine, it means your skin is warm in that area. Makeup is designed to set at body temperature. So if you tend to warm up in your cheeks, or you tend to, maybe you get flushed, or the heat's on too high in the car on the way to the party.
Are you having a hot flash?
Oh, I didn't want to say that. That's terrible.
Oh, come on.
Boys get them too, and we just lie about it. So I'm going to start, because look, this is winter, this is party, this is glamour. We need blush.
This is wedding, this is fun, this is celebrating. Let's get the blush
Blush is back, and I'm in love with it. Summer, bronze me. Blush, let me get I want cheeks. I want blushy cheeks, because it's beautiful. Now you'll notice that I only put down the T-zone on that powder. That way I know that her skin will not warm up and start creasing where the makeup is. Now I'm just going to use a little of the blush. Give me a little smile. A blush right behind the apple. Everyone says go up on the apple. I go right behind it, because you can't help but sort of overlap a little bit. Yeah. But you can see that does the same job as the powder under the eyes, or the setting agent, as I call it, under the eyes. But now you don't have to worry about the rest of your face. You've got something. That blush going on that makeup will set it and keep it in place for the whole evening. So you don't have to put powder and then powder blush and then blotting powder. I mean, enough with the powder. I'm trying to point out to you that the abundance of powder can be a problem. So use it strategically. This is a strategy. So you have your powder blush, you've got that little setting agent under the eyes and down the T-zone. So everything gets addressed. Yeah, foundation, makeup, it does like a little bit of powder to set it. It does. You can't walk out or you're going to look shiny. And I'm just going to start it behind the ball behind the apple, because it's always going to overlap. And then drag it down along that chin line, bring that chin line down. Get your blush under there.
Why is that important, Joseph?
The chin line?
For women, just when women ask, why should I bring the blush down to the chin line?
It's a dance right here. It's a dance because these are the two prominent bones that give you the face that you wear.
The bones.
It's the brow bone, the cheekbone, and the chin line. You see, everything else is just what in between: skin, eyes, eyebrows, lips, and that varies. But this is give me a good smile. And when you smile, the reason I like to smile is because it gives you a more even application of blush on the cheek, particularly if you have muscles that aren't cooperating, right, when you're in your resting face. So another thing I want to say about blush, because we're at that stage, is that you need a good tool, you need a good brush. You can use some of the synthetics are amazing. A nice fluffy brush with just a little bit of a point even to it, see, because then you can kind of direction little areas that you want to, because let's face it, after a certain age, our muscles are not just round and smooth and flat anymore. There's a little one fell over here and one standing up over there. And that, by the way, getting back to our philosophy about aging, is what makes you beautiful. What makes you interesting. It's the way your face forms itself through the years.
And the way your face is changing through the years. It's all beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is all beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And nothing to hide or try to eliminate. We enhance it.
Yeah.
We enhance what we have, whatever age we are.
Well, and neither Dawn and I are purists when it comes to fillers and Botox and surgical procedures. We just think, why? And Dawn doesn't do anything. That's the truth about this girl. I mean, yes, she was a supermodel and she's a beautiful lady, but I love what the years have done, and mainly because I love the heart of this woman, and I know that that's what comes through is the heart of this woman, and that's what we say. Beauty is an inside job.
Yes, and
repeat
also,
that to yourself.
Also, I just want to put out there that there is no judgment if you do whatever you do, whatever makes you feel good.
That's right.
If that's Botoxing, fantastic. If it's fillers, fantastic. But let it make you feel good, and if it makes you feel fantastic, then I say go for it. No judgment.
The means to the end.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The means justifies the ends. As long as that makes you feel like that ignites that self-love inside, because believe it or not, whether your face is tight or not, or wrinkled or smooth, the only thing people really see that's beautiful in you is how you feel about yourself. Yes. The thing I want to do with eyes this time, because it's holiday, is I don't want to be afraid of color.
Ooh, love those colors.
Right. I mean, here we are. We love our neutrals, we love our warms, but I really want to kind of bend into this one. Just to start, I'm going to go into this peacock blue. I know this is crazy, and you already probably think I have too much blush on her, but you'll see in the end how this comes together. I think it's what makes a special occasion special. And I don't know about you, but when I've ever thrown a party during the holidays and people are showing up at the door, I'm really complimented by the ones that took a little time and went for a little color. A little color on the eyes, maybe a beautiful bright red lip, or even a little hair ornament. I'm always so taken aback that they would go to that trouble. It's a compliment to the people who have invited you to an event, is to look your best. And at holiday, I'm going to go with that peacock blue because you can see what that's going to do with the color of her eyes. I'm just smoothing. Now, I'm not going to use an eyeshadow primer. A lot of people do, but to me, I want this color to be pretty saturated, so I'm not going to use a primer, which would dilute it a little bit. That's just my technique, so don't be shocked if I'm not using a primer. Now, we're just going to take that, and I'm going to apply it. Yes, I am. I'm going to apply it all the way up to the crease. Not in the crease, but just up to the crease. Because in the end, This is where I want most of the color to stay. That's where I want it to read. I don't want it to be reading out up to the brow or anything like that. And you'll see that as we blend other colors around it, how they interact. But that's already pretty spectacular. I mean, just as a notion that we can use more color, that's beautiful. We lost that. Everybody went brown. Everyone got brown and tan. It was like beige and brown were the colors that you could use. Otherwise, it looked like, oh, you're trying to look pretty. Well, we are trying to look pretty. And that's beautiful, especially with our eye color. So that's all I want to do here. I just want to lay that vivid, bright color in there. Now I'm going to come back with softer, more muted colors. So it's just a question of getting it on there, blending it in, getting it smooth. Everything is about blending. You have to blend each stage. You see how I'm just getting that to be very, very smooth and even on the lid?
Yep.
That's what we want for every stage of eye makeup.
Somebody said to me, when in doubt, blend it out.
So now I'm going to take a fresh brush because I don't want it. I want this to be a mingling of two different shades, and I'm going to go back into my colors, and I'm going to pick something that's fairly neutral. I'm going to go into this pale pink here. I'm going to mix it with a little bit of this taupe. I'm just doing this. You guys play around with color. Have fun. But you see, the reason I'm going into the pink is because it's a great complement to the blue. And when they mingle, the color, it will have a neutralizing effect on each of them. So that, and you'll see what I mean as I apply it here. So as soon as I start into here with that, it already neutralizes the blue. You see what that does? Already neutralizes the blue and makes the blue even stand out more beautifully with the blend.
Oh.
That's what two colors that we did it with the under eye concealer. We did the orange to cover the blue. Now I'm taking this sort of pink taupe because what it does is it takes that edge where the blue has come up to the crease and it just makes it a crease shadow. I mean, that's a big difference from just having a big area of blue on your eyes. And you see, now you can see it's just an area of blue, and all I want to do is come right under that crease line with this soft pink taupe. And what this does is it just defines the crease and it just blends the area of the blue so it looks more like a natural progression. Dawn sent me a text. She said, I want it bold and fearless.
Yep, and he was like,
well,
okay.
So far, I think we're delivering on that. It's very bold and very fearless. But I love the use of color. People have gotten afraid. I think it's happened in our entertainment business. I think it's happened in everything. We're afraid to express anything out of the norm. So everything is so homogenized and so in between and so beige.
And put into a tight little box.
I want if I do anything.
Jump out of that box.
If I get away with it, if I get away with anything at this video today, it's going to be there's some ladies walking around with some color on their eyelids, and I'm going to just love that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think that just looks fantastic, and then you can really see how by neutralizing the blue. If you'll look in, you can really see the color of your eyes. By neutralizing the blue, how it's starting to really become the color of her eyes. Whatever that little bit of hint of blue that's going to be left behind there is going to be the color of her eyes. And doesn't that say holiday party? It does to me. It says event.
Event, black tie.
Yeah,
black tie event.
Exactly. We want to create some structure. We want to bring the eye out. We want to get underneath the eye a little bit. With this corner is really important as we get older, ladies, because this is where, we're like in other words, when people do the eyeliner, they're like, oh, well, as I got older, the eyeliner goes down and then up, and I don't like the way that looks. The reason for that, and here's something to think about. It's a really good tip. This is just, believe it or not, it's just a color base, just something to throw that color in there. Now, what a lot of ladies do when they get into the eyeliner at this age is they get that little bit of it's like it's crooked. What do I do? What do I do? The best thing to do, look up for me, you start from underneath. This is the thing about that helps you get the up line to the corner is to start under the eye. Don't rely on the eyelid to give you that. You start underneath like this. I think that's a good close-up of it. Mm-hmm. And you fill that corner in. And now you can almost see what it's doing. So you're going to go up in here and you're just going to lay that in. See where the shape that I'm making is actually tricking the eye into thinking that the eye goes up in the corner again.
I love this trick.
So don't start on top and try to get the effect. It has to be supported by what comes from underneath. And on Dawn's eye, I can see where she starts to get that natural crease. So I'm going to stop there when I come up and around. And look straight up for me. And here's what I'm talking about. Now you can see that the corners are starting to go up and out. That's creating the shape of the eye. It's just a really good trick. Something to think about. And like everything else, blend, blend, blend. Look up. Don't be afraid of this corner. Don't be afraid of this corner. It's a really important factor in creating a beautiful shape to the eye. And you just got to blend, blend, blend. You know, I want to hear ladies complaining that they're bored blending. That's how much blending you need to do. Blend till you're bored. Look up. But that's the shape. You see that? See, that creates, look up a little bit. That's creating the shape. You got to get that little bit of shadow underneath to support this line that goes out. That gives you that smoky cat eye effect. Okay, and I think that's looking, and here I am just, going in. You've got to blend, blend, blend. I'm pulling a little of that color just under the eyebrows. I'm going back down, a little bit down to the skin, because I'm going to come in with a beautiful powdered shine later on for that area. But if you understand now what I'm saying about the line makes that shape, starts from underneath. Especially when the lid starts to fall there. It can tend to accentuate the aging of the eyes. So I'm keeping her eyes really open. And if you go back to the beginning of this video, you'll see exactly where we started. Dawn has this very common problem that women get as they get older. The lids drop. Especially in the corner. It happens. Especially in the corner. You don't want to accentuate it and accentuate it. I'm sorry, what is wrong with me? Now I'm coming into this sort of pale pink. I'm slowly neutralizing here. And this has a little sheen. So I'm going to go into this with just a little soft, shiny pink. And the reason I'm doing that is not only to brighten the inside corner, but also to tighten under the eye where we've done all that shadow. Right in there. I'm just filling that area in with pink. And I really love the way this looks. And here's the thing to remember too. Every time you pick out a new color to put on the eye, go in there and blend it into the one before. What that does is it keeps everything. Every time you blend over something, you're actually blending over the bone. The bones dictate where all this can go. So every time you blend, you're just blending it more into that bone, and the bone is becoming more of the story, more of the shape. The bones don't really go away. The skin falls, but the bones will keep. Your whole life is hanging.
You always have your bones.
That's right, baby. Your whole life is hanging off those cheekbones. Yeah. Okay, I think the next step, and it's also going to kind of reiterate what we've done out here in the corner, because ladies want to use the gel eyeliner. They want to use that. I say use it sparingly. But again, look up for me. I'll start on this side so we can see it. I'm starting in the underneath corner. That's where it all stems. That's where the total shape of the eye comes from, right in this corner. I'll fill that out, and then I'm going to go in there and I'm going to see just where that wants to go. You see what I've done? I've accentuated the shadow now by bringing it closer to the eye, edge of the eye where the lashes are. Because that's really what liner is. It's to imply that you have thicker lashes. And I'm just going to kind of massage a little of that liner into the edge where the lashes are just to get started. And that really starts to bring out the shape that we were trying to get. Now, if you want to go for an eyeliner look, which I'm going to do just a little, don't try to get too close to the eyelid. We've already filled it in where the lashes are, so that's okay. To get the eyeliner right, you have to start with the top of the shape. So just think about that. You don't have to get it. Don't try to put the eyeliner along the lash line to start with, because your lashes will push it around, they'll get the brush messed up. Once you've established that shape, we can then go in and fill it in next to the eyelashes. It doesn't matter how much your eyes wiggle. So that's basically it for the eyeliner. But you can see, look down for me, you can see the eyeliner there. And that's what I'm going to do this on the other side. But do you see how that pulls right off the bottom? Look straight. You can see where that comes right off the bottom. That's where the eyeliner goes. So the eye never looks like it droops down with the eyeliner. It actually lifts it. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. Look up. See, I'm going into where the base of the lash is just real. I won't say clumsy, but it doesn't have to be that careful. Just sort of lay it in next to the eyelashes. It's better to start out here and just worry about the top shape. Drag it over and then fill it in from there. And when you're looking straight into the mirror, take that underneath part that we've been working on and make that where that becomes the liner. And in effect, this is a very soft liner. This is not like just black eyeliner and nothing else. This is just to reinforce the shape that we've been going through.
But it's dramatic.
Yeah, it's very dramatic. It's very dramatic. Okay, so we're at this stage now. We've got a little bit of liner going. We're really creating the shape. So go back and just reapply a little bit of that peacock blue that we started with. Make sure that that's nice and blended and set on the lid like that. I love the way that looks. Look up for me. I'm even going to add a little bit underneath. Just going to mingle that right in. Just put a little of whatever's on the brush. What I'm trying to point out by doing this to you ladies at home is to not be afraid to let everything mingle. The emphasis, the color that was put down first is going to be the strongest. But you can take the color that you put in other places and bring that into what you've done. In the end, it just keeps creating color on the eyes. That's a philosophy around color on the eyes. It's not meant to look natural. It's meant to look exciting. It's an accessory to what you're wearing. It's an accessory to your mood. Have fun and play with. It just seems like it's been such a long time since people have really had fun with color, and I think that's what this is about. And we're into some territory now. The kids, they're color crazy. Now, the next thing I want to show you is where we've got this. I'm bringing some color off that crease up to the brow, just to break that up. I'm also creating more of a shape that we're trying, the ultimate shape that we're trying to go through with you all. I just want to show you what I'm doing here. It's just creating more of the shape that we've been going through. But the important thing to note is that it has a little more pearl in it. Now what pearl does with eyeshadows is it makes them easier and easier to blend. There just seems to be a little more of a moisture effect to pearl. You'll notice with matte shadows they're extremely dry and chalky. And I like that for impact. But right now I'm blending out. I don't want that to be something that doesn't look beautiful and blended. So the pearl in here is really going, I'm doing it in kind of a neutral brown, which I think is throwing a little bit of that little warm undercurrent to that taupe is really popping that blue. But it hasn't affected anything else we've done. But that I think, and because it's pearl, I think that's really beautiful. I think that came out really nice. Okay, and again, look up. Again, don't be afraid to sort of mingle. You know, every time you pick up a brush, mingle that. You know, even if you just brush a little into the eyelashes, it always makes the eyelashes look a little thicker. Right.
But I think what Joseph is saying is that, you know, as long as you're blending and as long as, take a little fuzzy on my nose, as long as you're blending and experiment and trying things, if it doesn't look good, try something else. But
yeah, I mean,
have fun with it, you know, because this is the time of your life to try new
this
things.
This is also the time, this is also the season for it. This is holiday glam. I think that all I'm trying to do by breaking rules that we've set for ourselves.
We love to break rules.
Well, we set most of the rules for ourselves.
Yeah.
We set most of the rules for ourselves. What I think is good about breaking rules is that we get to experiment, we get to play. And that's where our individuality starts to happen. Okay, so you know we've got the shadow, the liner, the crease color, kind of blending that blue out into this long shape here. We've got I'm going to add a little mascara, and then we're going to put lashes on her, and I'm going to teach you to not be afraid of lashes, because I know you're all afraid. Everybody's failed, and there's a foolproof way of putting lashes on, and it's a very easy. It's an easy to explain.
Well, please teach us, because I'm a disaster at putting on lashes.
And I think they make a big difference, especially when you go with bold color. I think you need a good firm. Now I'm just adding, you know, I've got hers. I'm just putting a little mascara on her lashes first. Just to, you know, you see the shape of the liner here. We've got all that working for us, that beautiful shape. Most people have really beautiful lashes if you're not using a lot of eye makeup. It looks fine. I want to show you the lash here. Now what I've done, because we know that inside corner is your nemesis. That's the one, right? Would everyone agree that inside, it pops, and when I finally get it stuck, my eyes are stuck together. Okay, so here's the trick. You take and you trim the inside of that corner off. Don't even think, we've got plenty of lashes in the corner. And even if you don't need them all the way into the corner. They can be a little uncomfortable, particularly if your eyelids are a little bit fallen. It can start to, that's the one part that's really uncomfortable, right? The inside corner. So I cut that inside corner out. Take what would be the equivalent of anything from 1/2 to 3/4 of the original eyelash that you buy in the drugstore. In order not to get glue all over the place. And the reason that happens is, first of all, you're using too much glue. So I'm just going to put a very light amount, and I'm using the dark tone because it mimics eyeliner. It dries black, and it gives you even more like a beautiful, you know, glossy black. So it gives you even more of an illusion of that line next to the eye. So you see, I've just lightly coated the edge of that. Now, I'm not going to just stick that right down on the eye. I'm going to give this a minute. Not even a minute. Well, not a minute, but you know what I mean. I'll give it some time to kind of set. And the reason that does, if I can explain how this works, is that it goes on like a bead, the glue. Very small amount, very tiny amount. A very, very tiny amount. But it's a bead, like caulking the shower. So what you do is you get a little skin, you let a little skin on that glue happen. That just from drying the outside, you get a little skin on it. And what happens when it touches the eye is the inside glue that hasn't dried yet explodes past that skin. and it just grabs the lid. Now
that's
that's a
the
little
secret.
technical,
Yeah.
but to a makeup artist, that's the law. That's how you get lashes on. So, you know, and also take your little finger on each side of the lash while that glue is sort of setting a little bit, and just rock it. Just rock that a little bit. See, you're just kind of arching the shape. Now you've got it in just the way you want it. Look down, lift the brow, and just take that starting at the outer corner first, and then look down in a little bit to there, and then you take and you pop it on the inside corner. But you can see I've only got it a quarter of the way out from the corner, and it's only 3/4 of the original lash. And look how that sits on the eye. It's almost like you can't go wrong. It's almost foolproof. And look how that's just taken and made so much more sense out of all the bold colors and all the blending and the way that it's going. It just makes more sense. It lends that shape is now being accentuated by what part of the lash? The outer shape of the lash, not the inner corner. So let the inner corner go. Everybody's going to learn how to time their glue drying, and everybody's going to learn according to your eye and according to how dexterous you are. However, that inside corner is lethal to almost everybody, including me. I try to put lashes on, and the inner corner always wants to pop. If you're having a real problem with it, keep the eye down and look away from the corner that wants to pop, and that'll give that glue a chance to dry. When glue is wet, it pops. When glue is dry, it's like a rubber band. It expands and contracts with the way your eye moves. So until it's dry, you're always going to have an issue. So I say, you want foolproof lashes? Cut that part off. I mean, does that really interrupt the shape of what we've done? No, it actually accentuates it. I like the fact that the lashes are a little thinner towards the inside of the eye. So we've got those lashes set in there. Look at that. Now look at, again, it's a quarter to a half of the way out on the eyelid to however long you want to make the end. That's how it goes on easy. It's easier to manage. Now, in order to kind of bring that together, look down for me and look out that way. I'm just going to fill that little bit of a corner in. I'm just going to take that little bit of liner and add it to that corner. And you see how that just brought it together. Look down and this way. You know, and you can give this liner another coat if you want. I'm using gel liners, which are softer than liquid liner. You just fill that in. I've just filled it. It goes up and out that way. I don't care how far out I go. Look way up for me. You can see that shape. It's connected to this underline. You see right there and right up. That's liner for a lid that's fallen a little bit. Otherwise, stay away from liners. I love smoky eyes. I don't think anybody has to have a fishtail, but it can be done. And I've tried to kind of imply that with what we've done. Look up for me. With what we've done here by showing you that it's really connected to the lower lash line and then straight up from there. That gives you the up line right there.
And I love it, because my eyes have drooped a little bit, which I think is beautiful. I love that what you're teaching us, the tips and tricks to.
I have nothing against a droopy eyelid, but if you're attempting to get the look of eyeliner, I hope that I've given you some good tips for that.
I think you have.
So I want to get started on the brows here, and from our tutorials, we've done separate brow tutorials. We did that long thing. I always start by brushing the eyebrows down because the action is above when you're putting color and shape to an eyebrow. I'm going to use a little bit of it's called a brow pomade. Gives you a little color. It's kind of like a gel liner. It's kind of like a gel liner, but it has a little bit more matte finish because you need matte for brows. Brows can't be shiny. And I'm going to start right in here. Let me go to this side so you can really get a clear look. You see I've brushed all the brows down. brows actually grow down. We brush them up. They don't grow up, they grow down. So let that little hit.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
They grow down.
they grow. The direction of most eyebrows follicles is a downward growth. Oh, if we could wear our eyebrows down, they would never be out of place. It's all this trying to get them up all the time that makes them look like they're out of place. So follow that direction. Take the peak, draw it down. Take the peak, draw it down. However high you want that arch to be, that's the line that finishes it off. So it's always that same direction, right there, down, 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 down. Watch what happens when you brush them up.
Yep.
You have like this crazy, perfect shape.
Look at it's almost like an eye lift.
Like most people, okay, because like here's what's happening. Most people have, okay, everybody's eyes are all, brows are all excused. And they're trying to get color in there and they're trying to find the shape and everything. And it's the same thing with eyeliner. The lashes get in the way. It's the same thing with brows. The hair gets in the way. Brush it down, out of the way. Then you go in there and create your arch. Just follow the shape of your brow. You can lift it in the corner here because see, this has come down on Dawn. So I'm going a little higher on this side. And then down. So once and I'm doing this with this brow pomade, which is kind of like a gel liner, which gives you real definition. It's not like an eyeshadow powder, eyebrow powder, where those can be a little, when you're not trying to do anything dramatic, that can work. But I'm going for a little drama here. So I'm getting a good, strong arch line in here.
So this gives the real definition.
Yeah,
the arch.
especially where you're kind of imposing where there is no brow, which on you would be in this upper corner here. So now I take the brow and brush it up. It's going to take that shape and away we go. And a good eyebrow brush is essential, and they're not, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
It looks like a bottle brush. But it's very stiff and bristly, and what this does is it creates a little bit of, it breaks up the color and softens it. And you see it just starts to all come together. I've lifted this eye a little bit higher here because she's got a higher arch on that side. Now come back from underneath if you want, and now it's easy to define it because you're not lost. You see exactly what the shape of the brow is doing. But it always starts from brushing it down, creating the arch, brush it back up, and then just take your little brush and fill it in. I mean, that looks really nice. Wow, that's a brow, baby.
Such glamour.
That's a brow for a party. It's a brow for going out. Okay, so we've got brows, we've got lashes.
We got it all going
We have
on.
peacock blue eyeshadow. We've got pink frost. We've got deep plum, and we've even got a little sort of taupey, shiny pearl in this hard shape in here. So what I'm going to show you is, even though it looks really beautiful and I'm very happy with the way it looks, I am going to blend it into her face a little bit more. I don't leave home without it. My Hyper Real Glow by MAC. It's just a polish. It's like a polish for the cheeks. It's a polish for the eyelids. I'm going to go in with the center one here, which is kind of a pinky color. Now, when we're talking about highlighters, which as opposed to eyeshadow for this trick, is because it's just a little bit less pigmented, so you can't make mistakes. It's a softer transition. And I'm going to go right under that brow, and I'm going to lay it right over that sheet of that shape that I had put in there to pull that blue up into the eye, and it's just going to blend it all into one little feature.
And it just gives us great pop.
Well, yeah, you can see
Especially
from this
for the
side.
holidays, it gives
Yeah,
it a little
hold that
pop.
angle for me, Dawn, because
Okay.
you can see the line that I put in, which I think is beautiful. It's coming off her natural brow bone, following the crease, but even where the lid is fallen, I've got that shadow there. Well, now I want it to look a little bit more like it's not forced. So I'm just going to buff a little bit of this hyper glow. It's going to lift the brow up, and it's going to blend that hard line. You can go in the corners with it. Look up. Yeah, get in here a little bit. You can go in the corners with it. Makes the eyes look really wet and beautiful.
Try that a little bit in the corners of the eyes. That's a good trick for me to know for some of the many holiday parties coming up. Valentine.
And not even just a party. I mean, if you're putting like a brown shadow on, and just to kind of get the eyes to look a little bit more awake, and your mascara and your brush your brows, and maybe add a little to that, it feels like enough.
Yeah.
I look great. I'm going out. But grab a little bit of that highlight shine, and I'm going to show you again how to put it on the cheekbone as well. Now, I like to use, basically like a little fan brush, because this is not something you want to start covering your face with. But you can take, I'm going with the middle one here because that's closest to Dawn's complexion. This might be for a darker complexion, and this would be for a really pale complexion. And I'm just going to lay it a little bit on that cheekbone right there. It's strategic. And you put a little bit between the eyes like we did before. Give me that smile. There you go. It just adds the littlest bit of glow. And this is essential for a night out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you glow, girl. So I had to throw that in.
That's very good. And then I just blend that a little bit with some powder. We're right down to the lips, man. I think a little bit of mascara underneath, maybe a little bit, tiny bit. Look up for me. I like this little Maybelline brush. It's very easy to work.
Yeah.
Now remember, girls, the mascara is tricky when you get it on your makeup. After you've done it, you get a spot, or you get something runs down. Get it where you don't want it. Let it dry. Don't try to take it off. That trick with mascara is that if it's washable mascara, you let it dry, and a Q-tip will take it right off, like as if it was a little speck of dust. If it's washable and you wipe it when it's wet on your skin, it's incorporated, it's part of your makeup. So don't do that. But strangely enough, if it comes to waterproof mascara, you got to get it off right away. If you don't, you won't get it off for a week. As far as getting it, I'm making a joke, but if it gets on your makeup and it's waterproof, get rid of it right away. If it's washable like this and you're going underneath and it spots, you get a little spot from your mascara, wait till it dries and it just flicks off like a piece of dust. I just think that's a great tip, because people can feel like they've ruined their whole makeup, and they haven't. It's not a big deal. So I'm just gonna get in here and get that underneath, which is going to reinforce that corner that we love so much, the way that shadow fills and the liner goes out. Okay, so let's finish with the lips. Now, everybody's going to want to know, what color is he going to put with that? Look, I could put a really beautiful bright coral. It'll look gorgeous with that green. I could put a bright red. I think it might look a little bit clash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick with the cool tones. I'm going to stick with that cool tone. I'm going to go in with this kind of boysenberry, would you say? So I can actually take my brush and do what a lot of people do with a pencil, although I know a lot of people do prefer pencils because they have more dexterity with a pencil than they do with a brush. So we're going to start here in the corner. Give me a little open. Give me a little space. A little more. There you go. Start in this corner. I'm just going to get this lip on here so that she looks like $1 million, and we can show you the reveal. Which I think that's going to be a beautiful color. So I just want to start on the upper line. Now, I know a lot of people think, oh, I wish my lips were fuller. I wish I had, a larger mouth, more pouty. I think it's better to go with what you have. It's never let you down. I've seen a lot of people with big mouths and little mouths, but the ones that stick out the most, that don't seem to look right, are the altered mouth.
Yeah, I agree. I think God makes no mistakes.
So I'm just taking a brush because that's what I do. You know, I use brushes. And I'm just going to make that shape like that. And I don't know about you, but I think that looks pretty sensational.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to get dressed. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up or comment below. And remember, be bold. I hope you enjoyed some of the looks that we showed you today as well. I'm wearing a vintage Oscar de la Renta beautiful gown. You can find that at City Opera Thrift Shop. And I always love that it's secondhand, that you can wear this, you know, that you don't have to buy a brand new, that you can get a secondhand, beautiful, beautiful gown at really great prices. And it doesn't have to be new, and it looks like it's brand new. So thank you, ladies. I love you all. Stay tuned for more videos coming up in the future with Joseph. We work really well together. Comment below.
We did it very natural, and
Yes.
This one we've gone a little bit to the other side of natural, because I wanted to show that, you know, there really isn't, you know, you don't have to worry about that. There's no age limit on wanting to look fantastic, which I think Dawn does.
So thank you all. Love you. Bye-bye.